What's up, guys? It's the real main event, the Rogue Soldier, the essential John L. Crossfire.
And I'm Mrs Crossfire.
And once again, you guys are tuned into Caught
in Conversation. Shakalaka-laka.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 113 of Caught in Conversation, going AWOL with Chris Stevens. As always, I am your host, the essential John L. Crossfire, and with me, once again, my lovely co-host,
Nova Lee.
The lovely, sensational Miss Nova Lee. I know it's kind of redundant to say Miss Nova Lee when she's Mrs. Crossfire, but I've explained it many, many times. It's just how it is.
Miss Elizabeth.
I'm very glad to have you back here, because obviously by the time people listen to this, we're going to have the Dozer interview, which you did still jump on the intro and outro for, but I had to do solo because you weren't feeling well. But you're here, and by the time this is out, there's actually going to be the bonus review episode, which hopefully you'll also be on, of MCW Ballroom and Brawl. But as we record this, it's a week away from World Series, so we're glad to have this in the can, because this is dropping on June 30th, which is the day after SUPLEX 6th anniversary show, which we talk about in this conversation with C Factor. But we're going to be traveling, so it's glad that we got this in the can, because by pure circumstance, we're going to be sitting in a hotel room when this episode drops. So, and we're hoping to get my youngest brother, T-Dog, on as well, to get his little wrestling fandom out, and even a review of World Series after the fact, and the bits and the bobs for episode 114 and 15. It could be 16 because there's a Markapalooza coming up, but it's all happening. This is another one that we've talked about for so long of wanting to get him on, and I don't want to rant too long because we did a pretty good job of covering a decent amount of stuff in just under an hour, and I just messaged C Factor as we were recording this intro, and when he's like, "Thanks for having me on, guys," and we've already thought of about 3 or 4 questions to ask him when he comes back on, which will probably squeeze 20 minutes, half an hour out of a conversation anyway with the questions that they are. So already looking forward to that. But Miss Crossfire, the song of the week and the match of the week, usually we pick one or the other, and that's kind of just your contribution here. But very naturally in this conversation it came up. So you have, via things we talked about in this conversation, you've actually picked both of them for this episode. And you showed me, and I said, go through the list, double check they're not there. You got better eyesight than I do. And turns out, since my phone updated, there's actually a search feature.
Yeah, which is
so
awesome.
If you'd like to give us the song and match of the week, and then we'll explain, obviously, why, and we'll try and keep this intro as brief as possible. Hit it.
Okay, so your song and match of the week for episode 113 is Danger Zone by No Resolve, and your match of the week is the 2008 Royal Rumble match.
Let's get ready to rumble. And usually we go, this is why we've picked it, and this is why we picked it. But listen to this conversation. It's going to make one hell of a lot of sense. And again, and I say this about so many songs, I was genuinely shocked that I had to triple check. And then even you double checked and triple checked yourself that song hadn't already been picked, because it's a banger of a cover. And I've listened to that specific cover God knows how many times. And of course the Violet Orlandi cover is awesome as well. But Danger Zone by No Resolve, that's C Factor's new theme song, and it's fucking, well, I say new, he's had it for about a year or so now, or close to a year by the time of recording this. But it's just a banger of a song. And then I was like, surely we've done the 2008 Royal Rumble match, because how many times have we talked about the 2008 Royal Rumble in this podcast? And then turned out, no, the only match we've covered from that event was Hardy versus Orton for the WWE title, which is also a banger match. But again, genuinely shocked. But you'll listen to this conversation, it'll make sense. I don't want to waffle on anymore. I'm going to do all the plugs and everything in the outro. But Miss Nova Lee, you've got a little introduction here. Ladies and gentlemen, I threw you off last time because you did the introduction and then I did the soundboard for everyone clapping. But ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for this lovely individual that Miss Crossfire is about to do the announcement for.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the CIC pod, the one Top Gun, the C Factor, AWOL Chris Stevens!
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with the one and only C Factor, and as we record this, is the current Suplex streaming champion. It will drop the day after the 6th anniversary show, and we'll talk a little bit about that, and hopefully still has that championship by the time this drops. But of course, Miss Novalee's here as well. But I did ask you this off air, but just for the sake of the conversation, C-Factor, how are you doing today?
I'm very well. Doing really, really great. Still buzzing over the victory as well, by the way.
You made any championship purchases since winning that belt?
I'm underway of buying a replica as we speak, but other than that, yeah, nothing.
He's just going to take all that money and invest it and buy some sort of like super secret like spy kit or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right, mate. Yeah, you know it.
No, but I always break the ice. I don't know if you've listened to the show before, but when people are on the show for the first time, I always ask the same question, and it's pretty simple. It's just, what's your earliest wrestling memory?
My earliest wrestling memory, like from when I started training or when I started...
Like, what was the first thing professional wrestling you saw, whether in person or on television or...
Right. Yeah, no, I think... So when I was really, really young, say about 5, I think, I was a really, really big fan of Bionicles. You remember Bionicles?
Oh, dude, I was obsessed with Bionicles when I was a kid.
Yeah, mate, yeah, literally. And, like, Dad put on SmackDown one time in 2005, and it had John Cena on as the champion, and he's come out, cut a promo and stuff, and I just went, wow, that guy's my favourite, and I haven't even seen anything else of it. And then it started getting all violent and stuff, like with actual matches, and I was just like, yeah, I could really get into this.
Hell yeah.
And the rest, and pretty much the rest is history. Like I was a fan ever since.
Hell yeah! But what relevance did that have to the Bionicles? I'm curious. Were you just like playing with the making them wrestle?
Sorry, So it was just like after that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like I really didn't even look at Bionicles anymore. Like wrestling was all I cared about at that point.
Damn. Bionicles got shafted by John Cena of all.
Yeah. Oh, he got shafted by Big Vinnie Mac and his bloody lovely.
I'll tell you what, actually, if I was to go through some of these boxes, which I really fucking need to because I'm a terrible hoarder, I'm pretty sure I still have the original Bionicle movie on VHS somewhere because that's just how old I am. But I haven't had a Bionicle reference in a while. That's just popped me straight off the bat.
Yeah, no, well, actually, it's funny. I recently got back into it. Like when I say got back into it, like I noticed that they actually have the full movies in 1080 on YouTube, all three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched them all for a huge nostalgia pop, and what a pop it was, let me tell you.
Well, you know what I'm going to go watch later now? Don't bother me for like 6 hours. But from what point did you then discover Australian professional wrestling?
It's a bit of a loaded question. Oh, actually, no, not really. It's pretty simple. So I used to work at KFC.
Yep.
Right. And there was another mate who I've been friends with since kindergarten. You've probably heard of him before. His name is Matt Gage.
Ah, yes, the sexy Matt Gage. We got to get him on here at some point as well.
The magnificent Matt Gage. Yeah, him and I have been buddies since kindergarten, and we've been like wrestling fans pretty much as long as we can remember. And he told me about this place where he started training, and I was just like, all of a sudden I had all these questions. Because one night we were doing the same closing shift at KFC, and I was just like, you know, where is this place? How did you find out about it? I just had all these questions, and yeah, I was just picking his brain and everything. And he goes, "Well, mate, they're actually having a new tryout coming up this month. If you want to go." And I just went, oh, and like all of a sudden, I was really, really excited, but I was also really, really worried at the same time. I'm just like, I'm like, you know, what's it going to look like? Are they going to turn me away? Rah, rah, rah. And no, it was really, really cool. There, he's like, no, seriously, man, you should just come along, give it a go. and that happened to be, Jackson Spade's SUPLEX tryout in August of 2018. So what happened was, I thought it was going to be like a shed and it was going to be all professional and everything, and like my only experience with wrestling was what I'd seen on pretty much just WWE. So I assumed there'd be a shed, and I assumed there'd be like this really, really professional setup, and I get to the front of this house, and I'm like, this is really odd. Like the grass, you can tell the grass hasn't been mowed in maybe a week or two because it's grown a little bit. I'm like, huh. And I'm just like, and so I heard something kind of around the back, and I'm like, is that where I go? Like, because I didn't want to sort of let myself in, but then all of a sudden, Spade's mum came out and gave us a waiver to sign, and there were four of us, so we all had to sign the same waiver. So we signed the waiver. We brought our money that that training session cost, and I'm just like, oh, there was in the backyard there was this boxing ring, like not even a wrestling ring. It was a boxing ring that had been padded kind of underneath, and I was just like, oh, this is not at all what I was expecting, and so I was like. At that point, I just really didn't know what to expect from there. I kind of just sort of took it as it come. But lo and behold, I tried out, really enjoyed it, and wanted to come back. And like I said before, the rest is pretty much history.
I love that by me asking that question, you literally just answered the next question for me anyway, because usually I just go, how'd you get into the actual business? But you just answered it. But was there a specific deciding factor or match or moment where you decided that, hey, I want to do this or I could do this?
Man. It was kind of because Matt and I think I went over to Matt's place to watch Money in the Bank 2011. Freaking awesome pay-per-view, by the way.
I think most internet wrestling fans go back to that main event over and over and over.
Yeah,
of course, CM Punk
literally, that was
stealing the title and running through the crowd, and we genuinely didn't know, is he actually leaving with the title? Like, the dirt sheets had no clue. Poor Uncle Dave was in a fit because he couldn't predict anything what was going on.
It made me that, for me, the best match of 2011 wasn't even out of WrestleMania. That was what kind of did it for me. I'd go to Matt's house very, very often, and we'd talk about it was really just a fever dream. I don't even know how honestly serious we were, but it was just like, oh, one day when we grow up, we're going to do this, and then I kind of let that go to an extent. I kind of had bigger fish to fry, I think, but he still went and tried it out, and then he came back and told me when we did that shift at KFC, and then all of a sudden I had this rekindled interest because I was just like, well, hang on, we said ages ago that, hey, we can do this, and now I've actually got this opportunity to do this, and may as well just take it.
I mean, look, that's fair enough. The amount of people that I've talked on this podcast, and a lot of the SUPLEX guys and the New South Wales / Newcastle area guys, pretty much all of them have said the same thing. It literally just fell in their lap, and it was just there, which is mind-boggling to me because, look at how hard some other people try to get into the business. But I mean, I guess it's a testament to the era we're in. But before I throw it over to Mrs Crossfire, because we've got a couple of questions that were sent in and stuff. I just want to point out, you said you started training in August of 2018. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
See, that's just blown my mind
That's
ever
crazy.
since because I met you in very late 2018 / very early 2019, and I already said, this dude is going to do shit. And that's just boggled my mind now because I didn't realise that the time frame between your training and your debut was actually that short. Bro, that's just blown my mind.
I think it must have been it was the SUPLEX show in Goulburn, wasn't it?
I don't know if I'd actually. I think that was the first time I'd met you in person, but I'd known of you for a couple of months before then, which was actually just 5 years ago. Last week, as we record that, because it came up with the memories, and it's the last time I saw my dad and fucking all the bullshit and yada yada yada. But man, that's crazy that like so soon into your training. Man, that's just blown my mind. I just completely didn't really have a point to make there, but it's just boggled my mind at. Like, cause I've said this to you in person, and I've said it to other people. Like, I've always just said, like, every time for ACW, for example, it's like, oh, who should we book? And I'm like, C Factor's always one that comes straight out of my mouth, and it's the same with ECW. I'm like, if we can get C Factor, if he's available for said dates, get him out. And the fact that you've now, man, that's just kind of put me to shame. Like, I was like 9 months training and probably still wasn't ready, and this dude was just a natural with 6-ish months training. That kind of makes me mad in a way, to be honest, but but no, fucking kudos to you, my dude. Kudos to you.
Well, thank you very much. Look, and you do so flatter me, Mr. Crossfire, you do. But look, it was it's really, really interesting. The fact that, like, I don't call myself sort of a veteran or anything, but the fact that almost 6 years since I first started training, that absolutely blows my mind as well. And I've absolutely, like, it's been pretty up and down, but I've really enjoyed everything that it's brought, like all the travel and road trips and people that we've met, like yourself, and
flat tires and flat batteries. The highs and the lows. But I'll throw it over to Mrs. Crossfire so she can ask these few questions that were sent in. Otherwise, I'm going to have you ranting about God knows what for the next hour.
Oh, that's all good. No, it's all good.
So pretty much, we've had a few questions sent in. The first one's actually from Muzdog. I think he's kind of trying to kind of take the piss a bit. But I thought I'd ask it anyway. But he's asked, is it true he got sent to the army because the Air Force didn't have a plane big enough for him?
Sorry, say that again.
So Muzdog's asked, is it true that he got sent to the army because the Air Force didn't have a plane big enough for him?
He's a clown, that guy. Hey, I do, look, and I'll tell you a story about that one. The short answer is no. He fundamentally misunderstands how the military works. I love Muzdog to bits. Hey, look, that comes from a show that we were doing in Sydney. So I don't know if you know of Osama Hussein.
Yep. Runs EWA, yes. Yeah.
Yes. So he did this show in Blacktown, I think, very early 2020. Like, we're talking pre-COVID here. And and it was like he wanted bodies for like a rumble and stuff, and a few of us SUPLEX guys put our hands up and whatnot, and we were all just road tripping down to Sydney together. We were pretty much convoying, and like Muzz is I forget what he was doing, but he had his camera out and he was videoing pretty much the journey there, and all of a sudden I noticed that I appeared in view, and he says, and I quote, "Oh, C Factor, he's so hot." And I just went, "Hey, Muzz." And then he goes, yeah. And then he goes, "Hey, C Factor, so I got a story," and I'm paraphrasing now. "Hey, C Factor, I got a story to tell you. I was out shooting air rifles recently," and I just went, "Oh yeah." And he's just like, "Yeah, it was so much fun. I can totally see why you joined the Navy." And then my face was just like, my shoulders drop. I just shrug. I'm just like, just face palm. I'm just like, bro, it like it got so. Anyway, so like the ribbon on me started, and it got so bad that Spade actually asked me, "Oh, so Cam, how's the army?" And I'm just like, "Spade." He's gone, "What?" It's like, "I'm in the Air Force."
The Air Force and the Navy hate the Army, and the Army hate them. What are you doing?
Yeah, no. So it was, Spade was, look, it was so bad that Spade was genuinely convinced that I was in the Army. And, like I'll tell you what, being in the Air Force, so many people ask, "Oh, how's the Army?" And I just go, "Yeah, it's good." Like I've stopped correcting people anymore.
See, I just say in the military because I feel like that
Yeah.
kind of does cover all three. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, well, that's what I say now. They're just like, "What do you do for work?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm in the military."
I just love the balance between
then-
the three different sanctions. Like you've got
He did
the
send
Navy,
he did
you've
send
got
in
the Air
another
Force and the
question,
Army.
but I
It's
didn't write
great.
it down. But now that he's brought it up, he did say what is the best type of military and why is it the Navy?
Jesus Christ.
He's banned from asking questions, mate. You have to blacklist that guy.
See, I didn't write that one down, but literally the moment you mentioned the Navy,
It's
like
like-
my ADHD kicked in.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, hang on, I did actually read that this morning, but if you'd like to ask
Classic
the next
Mars.
question, Nova Lee.
All right, so we had another one sent
He's
in.
banned. Shout out to Mud Dog. I love him a bit, though.
So we've got our second question that was sent in. It was sent in by a guy named Ethan Will.
Right.
He asked, when starting out, what were some alternative gimmicks you were thinking of going with?
Man, good question. So I'll caveat about that outside of pretty much one training session where it was raining, so we just kind of did like a theory lesson on character and stuff like that. The idea of having an actual gimmick really didn't resonate with me until, say, 2 years after I debuted, I think. I kind of just came out in the same blue and black generic attire that you've seen, John. And yeah, that I did at that show and everything. And I didn't really have a clearly defined character. I was just kind of starting out. I was a bit of a baby face, and I was just like, oh yeah, I'll just have like an underdog. But so when you're sort of talking about a character, I didn't really start playing around with actual characters till for the first time I went to Kingdom.
Yep.
And he's just like, the promoter there. So Adam was just like, we could sort of sell you as like a sort of like a like an everyman, like someone that everyone can relate to, just like an everyman. And I was like, okay, but I didn't really find much fulfillment in that, if that makes sense, because it was like, I didn't feel like I was really changing anything. All I was doing was going out there and just, I don't know, being okay at wrestling, I suppose. But I tried out other ones as well. I tried out an assassin's gimmick. So I tried to look like something you'd see on Assassin's Creed type of thing. So I tried incorporating a little bit of red into my attire, but everything else was kind of just plain white or grey or something like that. And I had like this black hoodie, which I still have, but I don't wear now because it's kind of like and I was like, it just wasn't working. Then after that I tried experimenting with like a party boy gimmick after I went back to SUPLEX. Like a guy who, goes out and parties and all that type of stuff. But I found out that what I was doing was a little too close to like DJ Sonic.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh, okay, well, I can't do that. So, and it was funny because I was kind of like, I really don't know what to do. And people sort of went, you know, like you're in the military, you could kind of like blend sort of elements of say Top Gun and stuff. And I just went, oh no, that'll never work. Like Matt, oh man, I'll go back to Matt Gage a lot because he is still mad that when he told me to, you know, that the gimmick might work, I was kind of like, oh look, I don't know, I don't really want to blend work with wrestling, that type of thing. And then one day, Benny the Back Rower messages me, and he sent this really, really cool. It was a cover of Danger Zone.
There's quite a few good covers out there, but yes.
Yeah, so it's the one by No Resolve.
Yes. Yes, dude, that is a banger.
Dude, that one went off like a rocket. And I was like, actually, you know what? That song is so hot. I'm going to try and build a whole character around this. So I'm going to try and hit up, like get the correct ring gear. I went through Alistair Fleming to get that gear. Does really good gear, by the way.
Yes.
Alistair Fleming. So I got kind of like the camouflage top pants. So I came out with like a cargo jacket. Got the sort of Top Gun aviators, and I'm just like, look, I can. If anyone probably suits this gimmick, it's probably me. But it was just that message from Benny the Back Rower that sort of just went, yeah, right, I'm doing it, hey. So Matt's just like, mate, I've told you for years to do it, and it takes Benny the Back Rower one message, and you're just like, do it and solve. He still teaches me about that to this day, Matt Gage, and I'll just go, oh, man, you're right, I don't know what to say. He'll never forgive me for that. So, oh well.
It does fit very well. I remember, I think, announced you as the Top Gun Chris Stevens, and now you're AWOL Chris Stevens, and I'm just like, dude, this.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe I'm biased because, like, I wear the red camo and shit as well, and I was calling myself the Rogue Soldier. But you're an actual like military person, so you have like way more right to do it than I do. But I'm like, it's so perfect and it fits, and I'm just like, just rolls off the tongue. Like, just even the word AWOL for some reason, like it just pops out for some reason to me.
Well, I thought like calling myself the one Top Gun was probably a bit too on the nose. Like I wanted it to have elements of Top Gun in there. I didn't want it to actually be plagiarized or anything. So I just switched to what's a really cool word that makes me sound all rogue and alternative, and I just went AWOL. Like that's the term we use in the military to describe someone who's pretty much gone off the rails to more or less. And I just sort of went, it's perfect. So that's what I go with. But I still kind of use C Factor though, because when I was still wearing the generic black and blue, I was just like, oh, it's X Factor, but I personalised it. I put a C there, and I just repeated it, and eventually got over it suplex, and I have no idea how. But hey, wrestling's weird.
But I feel like it's one of those things where if you put enough stock into it and you start believing in it yourself, it kind of accentuates it, and it people go, oh, okay, and they just go with it, like.
That's right, yeah. It wasn't until then that I kind of found out that, like, I can. So I just need to have a clearly defined character, or at least a clearly defined kind of presence, and I just didn't have that. I just happened to be like competent in the ring, and that was about it. So I was spent about 2 years kind of wandering around in limbo before I actually started. Before I actually using it and experimenting with different gimmicks and what have you. So, yeah.
But I feel like even with the pictures that came out from the Suplex Rumble show, even just looking at the photos, you can almost tell that there is more confidence, I guess. Radiating was the word I was looking for.
You seem really comfortable.
You look more comfortable as well. Like I feel like you're just kind of hitting your stride, and I can't wait to...
You're kind of playing really a character, but it's kind of just more of an extension of yourself, so you just seem like you're really confident in that gimmick.
Yeah, okay, so for one, I really, really appreciate that, thanks. And two, it was just, a case of little things. So, like after I actually did the gimmick, again, I'm going back to Matt again. He is great with character stuff. So he gave me all these tips and tricks of like, you know, don't have your hands down, like have your hands up, do something with your hands, or have something to say or something like that. And just little things where, like during the match, where if you need to slow down, you know, you can really sort of tell more of a story with like your facials and your hand gestures and what have you. And it's kind of like I still get nervous when I get out there, and so a lot of what I do is not really thought out per se. It's kind of just like, what would this character do? The first thing that pops in my mind, I kind of just do it.
But I feel like that's the best way to do it, though, is kind of just feel the room almost. But before I throw it to Nova Lee for the last of the questions that were actually sent in, you just got my brain ticking, and I'm ADHD as hell, and I just, you know, I enjoy sending the show off the rails. You keep talking about Matt Graves. Shout out to Matt Graves. Matt Gage. You keep talking about Matt Gage, and you talk about the character and stuff. If you were to take you and Matt Gage, who's Maverick and who's Goose?
Oh, well, that's a bit of a later question, actually. So I can't answer that. Like it's easy to say, oh yeah, I'm Maverick, he's serious, because like look at our characters. But in reality, that guy just, I don't know. It's just a switch. He just like flips a switch. Like he just sort of comes out and he like he's talking to you and everything, and he's all kind of serious and doesn't seem that confident. And he just gets out there in front of a bunch of people, and he's just like he just gets all silly and everything. And I just go, I buy that. So I really don't know. Short answer, I really, really don't know. It's a bit hard.
I appreciate the honesty there, but like I get that. Like when I met him, it was the same thing. It was just like he was really quiet and friendly. He was just like, hey man, I'm Matt. Da, da, da. But he was kind of like he did what he had to do, like in terms of ring crew and all the the bits and the bobs. But he kind of did keep to himself. But then the moment his music hit, he was, as you say, he was just like a different
switched on
person, man. It was insane. But Miss Nobley, if you'd like to ask the next question before I just derail it, but
sweet.
Yeah, no, all good.
So the last one that we've had sent in was actually from the SUPLEX Board of Directors. Someone by the name of Steve. He apparently has something to do with the social media department for SUPLEX.
Sounds like a fake name, but
anyway. But they've apparently been bombarded with messages, and that they want to know if you have any idea who let Jake Gibson into the building at the Rumble show.
Who let Jake Gibson into the Rumble?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're alluding to something there, but
No, I don't know, but whoever that is awful in the security department. Like, you tell me that dude's indefinitely suspended, and then 2 shows later he's back. Just happens to get the last the last spot in the Rumble and wins it.
Pretty sus.
And he had that. He had that other his little sidekick helping him in that Rumble as well. What's the name? Bloody She-Wolf helping him win that as well.
Okay, so C-Factor's claiming he doesn't have anything to do with insurgency at all anymore. That's okay. It's fine.
No, mate. I wanted to become that because that was the night I won the SUPLEX Streaming Championship, and I said I'd do that. And then I went into the Rumble, and I just went, you know what? I'm going all the way. I'm going 2 for 2. I'm going to get that contract. I'm going to challenge Mark Dog for the SUPLEX Heavyweight Championship, and I'm going to be a double champion. That is what I said I would do. And obviously, when I came out with that video, I didn't factor in that, indefinitely suspended does not mean diddly squat when, I don't know, it's still... Short answer is no, I don't have anything to do with insurgency anymore.
So there you go. Whatever they were or weren't alluding to, I don't know. We just asked the questions. It seems like C-Factor has given him an answer there. He's not happy that Jake Gibson was let back into the arena because he's essentially stole C Factor's moment. So there you go.
Mate, he's done spot, yeah.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. But again, we're just trying to be journalists here. But in a half-assed attempt, if we can mark out a little bit, C Factor, what is your favourite match of all time, both that you've had and that you've seen?
Okay, so
you can name a couple.
Oh.
You don't have to just go gun to head.
Yeah.
Here's one. It's all good.
yeah, no, all good. Favorite. My favourite style of match is always the Royal Rumble, and I think 2008, top to bottom, like bell to bell, the Royal Rumble itself was the best booked Rumble of all time. Big call, I know, but I'll stand by that.
I mean, honestly, starts with Taker and Shawn, who were the final two the year before. You got that moment with Roddy and Snooker, which, Jimmy Snooker controversy aside, that's a moment that I still go back to today. I mean, John Cena's return at number 30, no one saw it coming. Like,
yeah, but it was, and for the mid card that they had at that time as well, that Rumble was stacked, and they were trying all these different things, and there were stories and stuff like that. And, cause I love the fact that you alluded to the Snooker Roddy spot, and where Jimmy Snooker enters number 18, and you're just like, righto, number 19, it won't be a surprise entry. And then, boom, it's Rowdy Roddy Piper, and I'm just like, whoa!
And, the whole Rumble stops, and you can tell that, while obviously that was their job, that you can tell that the wrestlers that are in the ring are still marking out to an extent, and it's just like, oh, shit. There's some comedy there. I think Hornswoggle was in that Rumble as well, with a bit of comedy stuff.
I think it was one of the ones you showed.
Hornswoggle eliminates the Miz, and the Miz, of course, is the Miz, and he's.
and look who announced the Rumble. It was Michael Buffer,
yes.
In Madison Square Garden. I was just like,
let's get ready to rumble.
even before the Rumble starts, at least I got that feeling that hang on, compared to other Rumbles, I'm actually watching something genuinely groundbreaking.
And I don't know if you remember the actual the vignettes and the promos for that Rumble, but they did it where they were on the New York subway and they were brawling and throwing each other out of the train and shit.
Dude, that is
that is cinema.
Seriously, the most iconic image of that is, you see the bell ring and then Umaga just loses it. And I think it was Shelton Benjamin into a pole or something, and then it just all kicks off from there. And, oh, man. Yeah, that was one of my favourites. It's just people going onto a train in their wrestling gear. It's just like, hell yeah, here's Randy Orton wearing nothing but his bloody tight.
I always think, because obviously that service, that specific carriage they were on, they shut down to film it. But I always just think, I'm obviously there was other services still running. I'm imagine just being someone that was trying to make from destination A to destination B, and for whatever reason they had to walk past this, and they're just why are all these dudes in their underwear?
Yeah, no, seriously, I always say to myself, when I'm watching wrestling as a fan, I'll just go, imagine if this was non-scripted, all of this was actually happening, and you were on the train and you just saw that. I think that'd be great. Yeah. Sorry, you go.
But I was just going to say, in terms of matches you've actually had, C Factor, what are some of your favourite matches?
Favourite matches I've had? There are a lot of them. I think my favourite one would have been my one against Zero for the SUPLEX Heavyweight Championship, because that was the night when I started having that bloody Danger Zone gimmick, when I started being AWOL Chris Stevens, and so that was the big gimmick change, and it was the main event, and admittedly it was in Western. Which the town's not bad, but it's just the venue itself. There wasn't much space between the ring and the ceiling. I could, because I'm 6'3", so I could stand on the second rope, and I'd have to bend down a little bit. that's how little room we had. And to close out the main event, I'm asking Zero to do a swanton bomb off the top of that onto me. The feeling was basically, my point is the feeling was really, really low, so I didn't really have much there. But there was that. There was so that one was probably my favourite. Other ones I always go to, the one with Jack Payne, for the first time I won the title.
Yep.
Again, I only started calling myself the C Factor after that, and that was the show before I was going off to the Air Force.
Yep.
So we did the whole gimmick that I took the title off Jack Payne, and then then Lee Moreau came in and cashed in on me and injured my neck, quote unquote, so that I could have that time to go to the Air Force. But that match with Jack Payne and just planning it and stuff like that, like that guy, as much controversy as he had with Suplex, he is really, really good in the ring.
Oh, definitely. Him and Backman are killing it in PWA currently.
Yeah. And as much as there was a little bit of tension between him and some of the other guys there, he just went, I want to take this guy to a good match, and he kept his word. That's exactly what he did, and I always appreciate that. So there was that. There was, I like, I'll go to the match I had with CJ Young for the Suplex Streaming Championship. I really, really enjoyed that, but that's because I had some of my friends and family there to come out and watch, and so it wasn't really so much the match itself as the result for me with that one, but still a favourable memory there. And I don't think I've ever had a bad match with Matt Gage, and I've had several with him. Tag, 6-man tag, and singles. But there was just one more. I had a match with Tyler Gunn to open a Suplex show one time in 2021. It was January 2021. And so COVID restrictions had just ended, and we went back to an actual show, and so I was having the opening match on that card with Tyler Gunn, and we only got given 7 minutes, so we were just like, right, this is going to be as spotty as all hell, and if we get gassed, too bad. That one was really, really, in terms of my career up to this point, that one is not talked about enough. I think that one with Gunn.
It's got to be a hell of a feeling, though, not to cut you off, because you got to think, you just said, you're back from restrictions. You and Tyler getting essentially the responsibility of, hey, we all know, we always say there's 2 spots. There's the main event and the opener. They're equally as important as each other. But to essentially, not to mark out too much, but you talk about how that one WrestleMania, I think it was 38, or 37, whatever it was the first and only show for WWE that had audience in 2 years or whatever it was. And you had Drew opening that card, and how important, for you and Gunn to essentially get the responsibility of a Suplex show hasn't run properly. You still did the shed shows, and there was actually one where you faced Craven. I can't remember if it was a single or a tag, but you and Craven had a little bit of exchange in it. I quite enjoyed that one, and I'd love to see that on a show properly at some point. That's just me fantasy booking. But to come back from that, and you and Tyler Gunn say, hey boys, you guys are the first ones out of the gate. Given the situation, to me, I feel like that's a pretty big badge of honor to wear. That's just me, but that's crazy that of all the people on that roster, and you guys, the roster's changed here and there over the couple of years, but it's wrestling, people come and go, but you guys have always had a stacked roster within that area. And the fact that you and Tyler Gunn, of all of the people, are essentially chosen to say, hey, you two are basically going to be the first thing these people see after a year and a half, or whatever the hell it was, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so too. Look, I don't know. I can't quite remember if it was. I can't quite remember if we'd just come back from lockdown. I can't remember if they were still doing shows. I think there were some shows being done at the venue, but they were predominant. What I do remember is that they were predominantly done at the shed, so there weren't as many at the venue as there were at the shed. But so I don't think, if my memory serves me correctly, that was the first one back. So I can't really take the credit.
Okay,
for that.
well, there you go.
But yeah, you know, even so, like there's the opener, and I've done opener a couple of times. It's like you said, it's the first thing they see, and you know, Gun is so easy to work with. Oh man, I love that guy. Hey.
But and again, this is where we just mark out. And basically, when I asked Dozer this question last week, he's like, "I'm not that much of a narc. I'll just tell you who I'd like to have dinner with." And I'm like, "Fair enough." So you can either answer this as dream opponents, goal opponents, or people you'd like to hang out with in whichever order you'd like. It's fine. But the way I've written the question is just, who is your ultimate dream opponent, and what is the dream stipulation?
Now, I'll be honest with you. I have heard your podcast before. I listened to the one that you had with Jake Gibson, and I'll be honest. I really, really enjoyed it. I sort of said to myself, "Oh man, if I ever get asked this question, it'll be like somebody I can face like right now."
Yep.
Type of thing. So I'm not going to. I'm not going to go like, "Oh, I'd like to face Drew McIntyre, I'd like to face Van Dam," like that. Nothing like that. So. And I said, you know, I'll try and see an opponent that I haven't actually faced kind of one-on-one before. So to that end, and you brought him up earlier, I was actually tagging with him on that shed show that I'd like to hold this belt for many shows to come, and one of the people I'd like to defend it against is Craven.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm like, I couldn't remember. I don't remember you guys actually touching each other, but that makes sense because you were teaming together. My God, what is my brain doing?
Yeah, so we were the final two of a Rumble in I think it was 2021. Yeah, him and I were the final two of that Rumble, and he ended up outlasting me. And
maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I think the two were like blurring together. Because I remember I was like, it was in the shed, but I was like, no, you didn't touch each other. Okay, that's what it is. So there was the little spot at the end of the Rumble, but it was the tag match I was thinking in the shed, and I was just like, man, these two guys have really good fucking chemistry.
So, I would be remiss if I didn't, you know, as much as Craven works Suplex, and him and I are pretty much like ships in the night. I've never really crossed paths in that way. I would really love to face him, and honestly, like just maybe not even a singles match, maybe just a 2 out of 3 falls match, but with the title on the line, I think would be my dream stipulation. That or a 30-minute Iron Man match.
Oh, that'd be sick.
See, what's funny is
Yeah.
now I'm not going to name like the who's and the whys, but when Craven was wrestling in Queensland, I got asked by the promoter saying, "Oh, I want to put Craven in a 3 stages of hell match against such and such." And I literally said, like, Craven could obviously do that, but I literally said, "Fuck that. Just make it a traditional match with 2 out of 3 falls." And the promoter was like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because as much as Craven's capable of doing that stuff, I'm like, let him wrestle." So if seeing C Factor versus Craven in a 2 out of 3 falls or an Iron Man match, I'd love to see that personally. That's just me. But
sick,
before I hand it over to Nova Lee, I'll let you finish your sentence. I'll let you finish what you were saying, and then I'll ask it. But
yeah. Oh, look, all I was saying is, I think, you know, just what I was saying before. Like, I've been through most of the roster in Suplex at this point, and, you know, sort of other promotions. And, like, obviously Suplex is where I'm based at the moment. And I seriously think that realistically, you know, Craven would be just a magic opponent, I think. I'm amazed I've never got the opportunity to face him yet, hey? But there you go.
Yeah, well, and I need to stop. Like, it's almost a name drop, and it's not even intentional. It was 4.5 years now. But I did a seminar with Craven in January of 2020. Like, again, just before freaking COVID come along and screwed everything.
Yeah,
but like, to this day, it's still like the best training session I've done, hands down. It was just 2 hours of knowledge, and like the feedback that he gave me was just like something that, even though I haven't wrestled in almost fucking 4 years now, which is crazy that it's been that long already, but like everything that I took away from that was just like, man, this dude is awesome, and I can't wait to see more of him, hopefully in the future. But before I throw it over, and this is going to drop on the 30th of June, so it's actually the day after the 6th anniversary show. So as I said, let's hope that you've retained the title and etc. But just for the sake of it, how are you feeling now that, as you say, all this confidence is growing and you've really started to hit your stride? How are you feeling going into this rematch with CJ Young, and what are you hoping to get out of this match besides the obvious of, retaining the championship?
Well, it's our 6-year anniversary, as you've mentioned. CJ has cashed in his rematch clause, which is, as this is right. What I'm hoping to do is, that he'll give me absolutely everything he's got. Like if he can somehow turn up the intensity from the last show, because as we've mentioned, it is the 6th anniversary show. It's kind of like our sort of main show that we do every year. If he can turn up the intensity and we can kind of steal the show, but in doing so, I'll retain the championship. That would be a perfect night for me. Simple as that.
Fair enough. But if you wanted to go to the last official question, Miss Novalee, before we get into the bits and the bobs of C Factor's social medias and yada, yada, yada.
Plugs and all the stuff.
Yep.
Sweet.
The stuff and the things.
Alrighty, so we try to do this next question. It's just, we try to tailor it as much as we can to our guest. It's just a non-wrestling related question.
Yep.
I've actually asked this one a few different times, but we've recently came across a social media clip of you, so we wanted to ask this one. It's, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Voice of an angel, that C Factor, I tell you.
There are a couple of them. Because here's the thing, like I've done karaoke several times and I haven't actually repeated any songs yet.
Oh.
I've done 3. I've done Angel by Robbie Williams.
I think that's the one I saw.
Yes.
Yeah, I did Angel by Robbie Williams. I did Best Song Ever by One Direction. I was really inundated with alcohol by that point. And and I did Heaven by Bryan Adams.
Oh, no, that's the one that I saw.
Yes,
that's the one that I saw. It was Heaven.
Yeah. So it was pretty funny because I had all the guys there, and I can sing, sort of, kind of. Like I can sing kind of better than average. So when I go on the stage for karaoke, I always just give it my all. And Tyler Gunn was there at the time and just goes, "Oh, you're gonna what did he say?" But I can't remember exactly what he said. This is like, basically, yeah. He basically goes, "Oh, you're going to serenade us with your song, are you?" And I just went, "Yeah, mate." And yeah, he was getting ready to film me and be all look at this drunk clown on stage. And then I dropped the first line, and I just saw his face change. He's just gone like his jaw just dropped. And then afterwards, he's just gone, you didn't tell me you could sing, you can rah, rah, rah. Apparently, he texted Gage, and Gage just goes, "Yes, I know, stop stroking his ego." I've known this for years.
No, legit, when you shared that, or whoever tagged you in that, it was probably 3-4 months ago.
I think it was Benny, yeah.
But legit, it popped up on my feed, and we're sitting there, I think we're just eating dinner or something. And I was like, holy shit, listen to this. This dude can sing. And we were just like, what the fuck?
He's bloody talented in the ring and outside the bloody ring.
The funny thing is, actually, I think about the...
I've got options. We'll pull it that way.
I think this is about the fourth or fifth person. I think it's about the 4th or 5th person that I've asked that question. And I just realized, I think that's is it the second or third person that I've actually asked from Suplex. So there you go.
Yeah. Because I think Wormy was the
Yeah,
other one.
Wormy we asked, and there was someone else, I think. I don't know. I think it might have been Muzdog. I can't remember.
Oh, man, have you heard Wormy freestyle, by the way?
Yes, he sent me like some clips and stuff of like shows and from both stuff that he's done, like busking and actually on stage. Like that dude can actually fucking go for it. I'm like, holy crap! Like
that dude drops bars. Hey, like I was amazed when I saw that the first time. He's just like, oh, we should all go to the where was it? It was the Sydney Junction Hotel where they do the karaoke. And he goes, oh, yeah, we should all go here. They do karaoke Saturdays on 9 o'clock. And so we all went with him, and he just dropped Bust a Move. But he freestyled the whole song. And I just went,
That's the clip that he sent me, because it was actually, that was the song of the week for our episode with him, was Bust a Move by Young MC. And he's like, I'll have to send you the video. And he sent me the video like 3 or 4 days later. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, because like, I'm more like, you know, rock and metal and a bit of country, and like I listen to a bit of rap, but like it's more Eminem just because I'm the whitest white boy there is. Like I'm not the biggest fan of rap / hip hop. But when Wormy sent me some of the stuff that he's done, I was like, dude, like the talent shines through regardless. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, that guy amazes me. Hey, honestly, I think like if I'd love to be able to do that. I think probably even more than be able to sing well is I'd prefer to be able to do that, and I just can't. So
see, what makes me mad is like I think it's because of my ADHD. I can rap along and I can keep the cadence, but I know that it sounds like shit, and it just pisses me off because I'm like, it's not fair that I can at least keep up with the rhythm, but it just doesn't sound good. Like it's just
yeah. No, I feel that to a certain extent, I suppose. Like I get very, very lucky if I can, you know, drop one bar that rhymes. I don't know.
But where can we find you, C Factor, on social medias and merch and shows, etc.? Like I know, as we said, this is going to drop the day after the 6th anniversary show, but has Suplex dropped their dates for July yet? Or where can we find you? Where can we buy your stuff? Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, okay, so short answer, I don't have a merch page yet, but pretty much anywhere that I'm going, you can buy some T-shirts that say C-Factor on it. I haven't got any more merch outside of that just yet. But in terms of social media, I am simply just C-Factor Chris Stevens on Facebook. So, yeah, the C-Factor is hyphenated, by the way.
Yep.
And on Instagram, it is AWOL_Chris_Stevens.
That's simple and effective. I like when I get those guests that know their socials. I asked Dozer, and he's like, he plugged his YouTube channel, and he's like, I have no idea what my Facebook or my Instagram is. He's like, just type in Dozer, and I'm like, hey, like I'm gonna link it in the description anyway. But at least like if you say it as like people are listening, they can type it and you know.
Yeah. They can.
But he's got it all. He even threw out the hyphen. I just would have said C Factor Chris Stevens. Like no, get the hyphen. It's important.
Yeah.
But what shows have you got coming up currently, or is it just the 6th anniversary currently?
Yeah. So far, it's just the 6th anniversary. No! It's not just the 6th anniversary. There's also High Octane's Emma Butler Memorial
Show.
The
Memorial Show in October.
Yeah,
excellent.
Mate. Yep, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there, God willing. So yeah.
That excites me. I've only got to wait.
Yeah, that's cool.
5 months before actually 4 months before I can see C-Factor again. Say that 5 times fast. Holy shit. The irony of a blind person saying that I'm excited to see someone.
Yeah, bro, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm currently booked for play-by-play for that show, and I'm very, very excited. And I've ranted at length about how much that show means to me for various reasons, but no, very excited.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm envious of everyone that's getting to bump in a brand new ring. It looks so nice. Literally the newest.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, that ICW ring is magic to bump in, mate. Oh, it is.
Which is crazy considering it's one of the oldest rings in the company, or in the country, rather.
I know, but it is so. I don't know. I think like it has to be because of the padding for Rex and everything, but it's wonderful. I would happily just land on my back on that all day. Hey, it's so much. It absorbs all your impact and everything, and I just love it.
See, I'm just weird, and I prefer it a little bit stiffer, which that's what she said. But no, you get to bump in the newest ring in the entire country, which is I'm very envious of everyone that's going to be on that show. But I look forward to seeing you there. But is there anything else you needed to plug or get off your chest before we let you go, C Factor?
Well, this is releasing after the day after the 6th anniversary show. Is that correct?
Yes, the 30th of June.
Yep. CJ, if you're watching, nothing personal, brother. That's it.
Fair enough. It'll be interesting to see if when we put this out, if it's the hashtag and new and hashtag and still. But as I said, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to pick sides, but I have no doubt that you're fully capable of retaining that title. But CJ is a extremely talented competitor, and he's another one that in such a short amount of time has just skyrocketed, and it's freaking insanity, man. Like, all of you guys at Suplex are just killing it, and I'm very envious, but... I'm liking it at the moment at Suplex. It's really, really good. I get along with pretty much everybody there, I think, so that always helps. Which is, honestly, let's be honest, it's very, very rare for that to happen in professional wrestling. But
honestly, I just stay out of everything. Hey, I really,
way to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know as much as I think I do about everybody until stories keep popping up. But that also means that they also don't know as much about me. So it's just like it just works.
Nah, that's always like, it's like always good to have like a brotherhood, but at the same time, when it comes to show day, it's like, look, shit needs to be done. Get in, do it, go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I appreciate you jumping on, man. Appreciate this.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Been a long time coming. Yeah, I think the last 4 guests now. I've been telling you for ages. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll do it eventually. And then when I actually hit you up, you were like, oh shit, really, me now? And I was like, better time than ever. You've just won the streaming title. You got a huge match coming up. No, man, appreciate you jumping on though.
No, that's so good. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Mrs Crossfire, as well.
Yeah, it was good having a chat. Finally.
Yeah, cheers.
We'll catch you later.
I hope we do it again.
No, absolutely. I'll get you back on, and hopefully when we get you back on, maybe you'll still have that title. Maybe you'll be Steven's 2 belts. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, only time will tell.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the one Top Gun, C Factor. Catch you later, buddy.
See ya.
See ya.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how fun was that? The C Factor, the one Top Gun, AWOL, Chris Stevens. I can't do it anywhere near as good as Nova Lee, and that's why I'm the play-by-play and she's the ring announcer. I mean, I've done a bit of ring announcing in my time, and I've got by, but I'm not just putting you over because you're my wife. I say it to you all the time that you are a natural, and I can't wait till you get more and more shows under your belt. It's really a shame that the ECW shows have such a big break between them. I understand why, but just can't imagine if you were doing it every other month of just how good you'd get. But no, that was an amazing conversation with Chris Stevens. And as I said, we've already got 3, 4, 5 questions we want to ask him for a future episode. And I have no doubt it'll be very fun and entertaining. And I had a bit of a giggle though when when the Muzdog thing came up, because I was just like, I was literally sitting there this morning as I was finalizing the notes before this conversation as we record this. And I'm literally like, do I put it in there? Don't I put it in there? And then I was like, screw it, I'll throw it in there. And I gave Chris a chuckle, so I did appreciate that. But no, I really enjoyed having Chris Stevens on. And as I said in the conversation, he's been one who, it doesn't matter if it's ICW or ECW, or even when I was up in Queensland and they were trying to get New South Wales guys, I was like, hit up C Factor. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. I'm sure stars will align eventually, and hopefully we can get him back to the ACT because I miss seeing him around. He's a good bloke. He's a fucking talented bloke. He can wrestle. He can sing. He can do it all. You know, it's just. And I love the Bionicle shout out though, and just I was obsessed with Bionicles, but wrestling just pushed it away, and I was like, honestly, same. Like I feel that. But no, a very very enjoyable conversation with C Factor. I appreciate him coming on. If you'd like to just quickly repeat the song and match of the week, and I'll get into the plugs, and we'll wrap this one up because I've had a habit lately of just ranting in these outros for no reason. So let's just give us the song and match of the weeks. I'll do the plugs, and we'll all go home happy.
Alrighty, so your song and match of the week for episode 113 was Danger Zone by No Resolve. That was your song of the week, and your match of the week was the 2008 Royal Rumble match.
Absolute, like, in terms of star power, probably still one of the most stacked Rumbles of all time. Like 2010. And
it's one we rewatch all the time.
And I don't think I brought that up in the conversation because it was like, I noticed myself, and I'm getting better at it. I noticed myself about to start marking out. I'm like, no, it's got to get Chris's story over, and don't want to cut him off, but at the same time, we've got to keep it flowing. But it's one that every year when it comes to Rumble time and we do our rewatch, a lot of people, some people, they do every single Rumble, but there's just, obviously, as the years go on, there's more and more Rumbles, especially with the men's and the women's one now. But every year without fail, regardless of how many we watch, the 08 Rumble is one that we always watch. But yeah, I'm very excited to see C Factor in October as we record this. It's actually 4 months and a couple of days. It's actually 4 months until my 30th birthday today as we record this, which is a scary thought. And yeah, 5 days after that, we'll have the Emma Butler Memorial Show. But with that being said, speaking of shows, July 20th, MXW Battle of the Border, South Australia versus Victoria. Tickets on sale, links in the description below. Coming up in August, my microwave's beeping in the background. That makes me excited because we're having chicken wings, I believe. Something like that. Some awesome... What was that? We're having chicken wings?
Drumsticks.
Drumsticks, yeah. Drumsticks,
Same
wings.
thing.
Same. I'm keen. I love food. August 17th, ICW Cross or / Mass Wrestlers League, obviously owned by the same parent company. They're combining for, I guess, a super show of sorts for Saturday Night Smash. Tickets will be on sale soon. Again, hopefully by the time this episode's out, they'll be on sale. And if they are, they'll be chucked in. But they've released the banner. It's out there. It's Saturday, 17th of August. October 26th, though, as I said, Emma Butler Memorial Show. Tickets are on sale. Please buy tickets to that because I guarantee you, like, I think we're just under halfway sold. But for such a small little town to still be 4 months out, 4 months, 5 days as we record this, and obviously by the time this drops, it'll be just under 4 months, but to be 4 months out and it's that sold out for such a little town is pretty big in my opinion. And of course, this venue is smaller than our last venue. It holds approximately half of what we usually get in Cowra at the old venue, and all of that venue always sold out. So I definitely, if you listen to this show and you have the means to get to Cowra, buy it, book a ticket, book your hotel. Pretty affordable hotels. I think we're paying $220 for our 2 nights there, and it's one of the, I don't want to brag because like we're not rich or anything, but it's one of the higher quality ones there. It's freshly renovated. Hopefully the pool will be full by that time of the year. Be just our luck it'll be full like the week after because a lot of the time they do it the first week in November. But no, like we're keen for that. As I've said, like. I didn't talk about it in the actual conversation with C Factor because I'm like, I've ranted about it enough, but no, it's a very near and dear to me. Emma passed away from the same tongue cancer of my dad. I know I say that like a cracked record, but it just means a lot to me, and I want to raise money and I want to help people, and it's just going to be a great show, and I can't wait to call the action. And then Miss Nova Lee, at this point, I'm just going to buy you a ticket or something, but it's going to be awesome. You're going to be there. It's going to be fun. You did put your hand up for commentary, and unfortunately and ring announcing, but unfortunately those roles are also filled as well. But never say never. It's wrestling.
I'll just pack my gear.
Yeah, bring your gear, aka all your cue cards and stuff, and then it'll be funny because you don't have C Factor, so you just have to smudge it on a piece of paper. But a lot of the people on that show, you have their information because of our ECW shows, and the reason I try and transition, smooth segue for once, November 23rd, ECW's third show, A Hard Day's Fight. Tickets have been on sale Tickets have been on sale. I don't know where that accent came from.
Unsealed, but I'm gonna...
Baby, kiss from... No Resolve actually did a banger of a cover of that too, or was it State of Mind? I think it was No Resolve. Anyway, it was one of the two. They collab all the time, but I've just completely derailed this, which is what I didn't want to do. But this is all one take. But yes, buy tickets to Hard Day's Fight, November 23rd. Tickets have been on sale for about a week as we record this. And again, it's going to be a banger show. And, hopefully with the amount of, I think it's 5 months until that happens? Quick math. Yes, it's happening the month after the Central West show. So yes, 4 months, 5 months. Bo, what is math? Jesus Christ. But yeah, buy your tickets for all of those. The MXW, ICW Central West. And yeah, just keep your eye out for upcoming shows for Suplex, because as we said, this is dropping the day after their real big 6th anniversary show. But I will link the Suplex Facebook and Instagram in the description as well. So check all that. Check all C-Factor's links. Check our links. Obviously, the Instagram /the_Nova_Lee. And of course, my link tree is there, which has all 3 of my Instagrams, both for this podcast, both my personal one and Crossfire Graphics, the one-eyed graphic designer, which hopefully sooner than later I'll just be a regular graphic designer, although I feel like kind of ripping myself off because I feel like one-eyed graphic design is a nice little selling point, to be honest. It's a gimmick. But no, the Facebook, the Instagram, it's all there. The Pro Wrestling Tees, the Amazon wishlist.
And not to put myself over too much, I have a link tree now as well.
Oh, that's right. Yes, because you've got the you've got an X account now, and
I also have TikTok, but yes. I have not posted anything.
I will. Well, there you go. This will be the first episode. Possibly the second, if I remember. Probably the second, because I want to try and do the MCW review, but I'll remember when I'm writing my notes for putting this one together now, I'm just going to put your link tree there now, and people can follow you on everything. So there you go. Actually, I was going to say linktree /, but I think it's linktr.ee is the way the link tree is. /sensational_LJN. Is yours still the underscore?
Mine's xxnovalee_Lee. xxnova_Lee XX, because it wouldn't let me have just Nova Lee, but I should have went the Nova Lee. That would have made more sense. Fine. But anyway, here we are. So she's
gone like her goth, emo, Tumblr, MySpace days with the X's at the front and the back. But okay, there's a link tree there now for Nova Lee, which I'll remember to plug.
We ranted way too much.
But hey, we did what we did. It was a great conversation. Thank you for Chris Stevens. Come on, do you have anything you need to plug?
No, that was pretty much it.
Buy our merch. Miss Nova Lee does have a t-shirt on my Pro Wrestling T-store.
Yes.
There's a couple of Miss Wrestling Crossfire shirts. There's a couple of Court and Conversation shirts, including the new-ish. I can't say new anymore because we've had it for a while. And then, we've got the #WhatAreWords t-shirt, which I had a lot of fun making. Please buy it because it's cool, and I actually haven't sold one yet, which makes me sad, but it is what it is. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for Chris Stevens for coming on. But just check all of those links and bits and bobs and all of the stuff, and we should go check to see if those drumsticks are finished thawing out.
Yeah.
I am the essential John L. Crossfire.
I am Nova Lee.
And you were just caught
in conversation. Shakalaka-laka.
Highway to the danger zone.